Hey guys, what's going on? Randall Thor 19 back again with another video. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to drop by and check it out. I really do appreciate it. So let's just get right into this opinion piece. Sunset Overdrive 2 is back in the news, right? And you guys can see that Game Informer put up an article about an hour or so ago saying Sunset Overdrive may have a future with or without Microsoft. Nice attention-grabbing headline. People are like, "Ooh, I really want Sunset Overdrive 2, and I want Sunset Overdrive 2, so let me find out the reasons that I'm not getting a Sunset Overdrive 2. So, in the article, they go on to ask Ted Price why there hasn't been any movement on a sequel, and Ted Price says, "You have to ask Microsoft." He says, "We're passionate about the franchise and we own it, so you may see more Sunset in the future from us. No promises and no timeline to speak of, but it's something that represents our willingness to create unexpected experiences." Now, one of the first videos I did for this channel, my channel, is you guys can go back and check it. It was basically entitled "Xbox Needs to Fund New IP," like fund sequels to their new IPs. And I think it's criminal, and one of the biggest negatives of this generation, that Sunset Overdrive 2 is not in development, and then I'm not playing it this year, or wasn't out last year. I think that may be Xbox's best exclusive, and I'm still shocked that Sunset Overdrive 2 never came to fruition, right? I think I'm mind blown. The game was so great. I understand it came out maybe at the wrong time, at the end of October of 2014. It was surrounded by other bigger games, like whatever excuses you want to make for the game. It didn't sell particularly well, right? So now you have, people asking Ted, well, what about the game? He says you have to ask Microsoft. Now, true, Microsoft was the publisher of the game, but Insomniac owns the IP. And I don't think they want to self-publish. Now, here's the things that I've heard through the grapevine. And I'm not an insider, so don't run with this. I heard that there's a 2-game deal that Microsoft and Insomniac had. I also heard that one of the reasons why there isn't a Sunset Overdrive 2 was because Insomniac wasn't interested in making one at the time Microsoft went to ask about it. Who knows what the truth is? I mean, you know the history of Insomniac, right? They started out on PlayStation. They did Ratchet and Clank. They did Resistance. But they wanted to own their IP and make more money, similar to what Bungie, in Halo, right? So they left Sony's umbrella. They did Fuse with EA, which wasn't that bad of a game, but bombed commercially, right? And then Microsoft was willing. They needed new partners for Xbox One. They were willing to let them have the Sunset Overdrive IP in exchange for making the game. They made the game. It was a critical success, not a sales success. And now you see Insomniac making smaller indie games, and they also are making a huge exclusive with Sony, with Spider-Man. So the question is it possible Sunset Overdrive 2 comes back at all? If Spider-Man is successful, like I probably think it is, they'll probably just keep on making Spider-Man games. They'll probably just keep on making those because they need a game to, pay the bills, essentially, and keep that studio open, which is a big studio. Would they have time to devote, and the manpower to devote to another project, one that already saw a version come out and nobody liked? I'm not so sure. And as much as I would like it, another publisher picking up the pieces and publishing, Sunset Overdrive 2, I'm just not sure that's realistic in any sense. I know a lot of people would say, well, maybe Sony would do it, but I'm sure Sony also, maybe it's possible Sony, comes out and does it, but the thing is, it's nowhere in this article is a mention about the reasons why, right? Like, what's their deal with Microsoft? If they own the IP, then why haven't they done it themselves, right? They throw the ball to Microsoft's court, and they're like, just ask Microsoft. Ask Microsoft. But in the same breath, he says, we own it. We own the IP. So, well, if you own the IP, then why aren't you making the game? Why are you throwing this back in Microsoft's face? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something going on there. There's something behind the scenes, whether it's a deal or something. I heard they wanted more money for a sequel that maybe Microsoft wasn't willing to provide. Who knows about the details? But I just find it funny when they ask, where's Sunset Overdrive 2? And they say you'd have to ask Microsoft, but yet they also say we own the IP. It's like, okay, well, if you own the IP, then why aren't you making it? And it's probably because they're looking for someone to fund a multi-million-dollar project, and a lot of publishers are probably unwilling to do so, especially for, since the first game was I'm not going to call it a commercial failure, but didn't set the charts on fire, right? I mean, let's be honest, it really didn't. I dearly, dearly want Sunset Overdrive 2. Like I said before, I think it's a travesty that the game doesn't exist and not being worked on. But I guess, if you're a Spider-Man fan or a Sony fan, because of it, it looks like you're getting Spider-Man. Because let's face it, if Insomniac was making Sunset Overdrive 2, they probably wouldn't be making Spider-Man because the Sunset Overdrive team is making Spider-Man. So, I mean, there's one door may close and another door opens. That old saying. So, I don't know. I don't know why this news is coming out today. They could have asked this question to Ted Price multiple times over the last couple years. I mean, Sunset Overdrive is 2 years old now, getting on to 3. This will be the 3rd year, and now this story comes out. So I'm sure it'll lead to more negative slanted articles about Xbox and the game library, and that's, some of that's fair and some of it is not. They do need more games. That's one thing I kind of agree on is, that they need more exclusives. Sunset Overdrive 2 would fit that bill. Rise 2 would fit that bill. 2 games that could have been way better with sequels. Because I always bring up the fact, like, what if Sony just decided to stop with Uncharted 1? And then, because Uncharted 1 wasn't, like, a great game by all accounts and didn't set the world on fire sales-wise either. But, I mean, Sony stuck with the franchise, and, now it's one of the biggest ones in gaming. So, who knows what the real story is behind Sunset Overdrive? I've heard a few different things. I'm sure other people have heard different things. We're not really getting any information out of this article other than, like, a weird statement of, hey, ask Microsoft, but then at the same time, we own the IP. I mean, okay, there must be something going on. If you own the IP, but you're not willing to make a sequel, but you're throwing it back at Microsoft. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, there's something going on there. There has to be a reason, so who knows? I really hope Sunset Overdrive 2 happens, even if it's multi-platform. That'd be great. I mean, a lot of people should get to experience Sunset Overdrive because it is a fantastic game. But man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there at Microsoft or Insomniac. We need to get the true details of what's going on with Sunset Overdrive 2 and who is really behind it. Is it really Microsoft, the ones stopping them from making it? Is it really Insomniac not wanting to do a sequel right away to a game that nobody really seemed to want? Because that's something I also heard, is that they didn't really want to make a sequel because the first one didn't sell particularly too well and they want to make money. I don't know. I don't know what the truth is. I'm sure the truth lies somewhere in the middle, and maybe one day we can get an answer to what is really going on with the game, but I hope a sequel comes out regardless. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think in the comments section. If you liked the video, hit that like button. Consider subscribing for more content, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Later.